Hey guys, welcome to my channel, welcome to my stream, and welcome to another video, another set working on this guy here, the F-16 Aggressor. So let's load that intro and we'll get right into it. Today is going to be all about paint. Now you can see on my little bits and bytes here sitting on my desk, I decided to go with a whole lot of missiles and stuff like that on this guy. The actual ordinance that it calls out for in the instruction manual for the A version, which is the one I'm doing, there's not a lot of ordinance on it. Basically a Sidewinder missile and a like, what do they call that thing? ASIC pod or something. A CAN ALQ 188, whatever that stands for. It's this little funky looking guy here. We put that on, we put the Sidewinder on one side, and we put that one pod, what's it called? The ACMI pod, which basically just looks like a humongous needle. And that's it. And they don't call for anything else. And that's really boring. That's really boring because, you know, in reference photos of the actual plane that I'm thinking of, I see a lot more ordnance on it. In fact, I'll show the picture like right here. And so yeah, they put more stuff on it, and the kit does come with more stuff. These big, I don't even know what these are. They don't even mention these things in the kit instructions. These are not in the instructions at all, and yet they're in the kit, right? So, and yeah, you saw that in the reference photo. They actually have these on the plane. So I'd like to do these. These are nice looking, and I believe I have the actual pods to mount them. They'll go just like that, or like this. This actually has two holes in it, so I could line it up like that, right, and have them on there, and that would work. I just have to shave these down. Now there is this little dip in there that I don't know exactly what goes. Maybe it's for these. These pods are for the more outer part of the wings. That would go on the outside here, right? So I have seen those. And that particular picture, it looks like there are AMRAAMs on the tips of the wings, like this. AMRAAMs, and then Sidewinders. The Sidewinders, instead of the being on the tips, are actually mounted under here. So that's another option. So I would like to really load this plane up if I can. This, however, causes a bit of a problem. Now we also have these pods. There's two little pegs on here. I don't even know what these are for, but I got two of them, and it could be that these ones are for this pod. It does fit on there. This little thing matches the curvature nicely, so it could be that these go on this, right? It's a little difficult unless I actually search for. I could do an internet search of like F-16 Ordinance or something like that, and maybe come up with something where that works. Then again, we have this guy. I believe this is a radar jamming pod. I've seen this on F-15s, I've seen it on F-14s, but I have not seen it on any of my reference photos of this plane. So I just might wind up keeping this for a different build, right? And I believe I also have other versions of AIM-9 Sidewinders. These are different versions of these, I believe. But again, these are not called out in the instructions. So anyway, enough about missiles. Today's about painting. we're going to get this guy. As you can see, I have this thing primed in Mr. Surfacer 1500 black. So a lot of the detail is kind of gone unless I get a little bit just shiny in the light. But for the most part, you can't really see the detail anymore. At least you can't. I can, but you can't. So we've got a whole bunch of black parts now that need to be painted. And so that's going to be the order of the day. Okay? I have my airbrush all ready. I got my air compressor turned on. I don't have my camera set though. I do want to let you guys watch. So we'll just kind of make sure that it is going to be working here. Yeah, that's good there. Okay. Alright, so as you guys know, I'm going to be doing the splinter camo. Okay. This right here. Okay, we're going to be doing the splinter camo, and I'm going to do my order of operation going from light to dark. We're going to start with the white. I'm going to be using the Insignia white by Tamiya. That's LP36. Okay, they only make it in the LP version. There's no X version of the Insignia white that I know of, and I preface that with what I know of. Okay, so a couple of different spots. What I want to do is, what I've done is I've blown up this picture. I've blown this up 200% to get to this size and get the actual size of the plane, because I want to be able to paint exactly where I need it. Now we're doing the white first, and so it doesn't really have to be exact perfect. I just want to make sure that I do the area. So for example, I'll change the camera here so I can kind of take this photo here, and let's take this one here. I want to get this. I don't need it exact, so I'm just going to spray all around here, kind of in a big area like this, right? And get that area on our tail fins. I'll just do maybe half of a thing like that, and just make sure I get most of it, right? Same with this one, just kind of do a big circle like that. It doesn't really matter, it doesn't have to be perfect. And we worry about the actual matching of it later on, okay? As we start getting to our grays and our blacks, that's when it's going to start to matter, and I'll have to do some masking. So I'm going to thin this out because I think I'm pretty much going to go through this whole jar with this particular kit. Although I think I did thin this out a little bit. It is pretty thin. There's not a lot in there, so I'm going to have to actually put more paint in here. I happen to have another one here. Let's just make sure it's all mixed up. Been sitting for a while, right? So we're going to get this done. Okay, so let's pour some in here. Okay, so this is going to be, now I'm going to call this my thinned paint. Okay. This is just regular. Take some thinner. Tamiya paints, although you can spray them out of the bottle, they don't spray very well. They are a little too thick. And it's just, you have to thin them. So let's make sure that's mixed up nice. Okay. Ready to fill our cup. go. Clean that off. Clean off my edge. There we go. Okay. So, put that aside. And let's change our look here. Alright, so I'll move these out of the way, because I don't need them right now. I do want to kind of have this one sitting here as kind of a reference. Alright, so starting with the tip here, we're going to go I'm going to put my little headlamps on. So I'm getting a shadow and it's a little bit hard to do. Okay. I do want to get a little bit of the far up that wing it goes. You might be wondering why I'm painting it in such a weird pattern. Well, the idea is to give it a little bit of a weathered look. So this actually goes back quite far here on this. That's pretty good facsimile. No, we're going to go right to the bit tip here. So this last gun. Okay. And now I'm going to back off and pull back a little further on the trigger to fill it all in. Now we've got some subtlety in that white, so it looks like it's got a little bit of fading on it, and that's the idea. Okay, and that's a pretty good, that's enough to do that area there. I'm going to make sure I do get the edge. There we go. Okay, and that's all we need to do. Alright, so let's move on to this piece here. So this guy is going to start right about here and go all the way up here like this. Okay, so just looking at our reference, I'm going to go far out that's going to be. Yeah, this whole panel. check here. Yeah, we're going all the way up. How far up? Let's see here. Almost all this way. Splattering coming out of here, but it's not the end of the world. I don't normally get this with Tamiya paint, but for some reason I am. Boo-boo there, and I sprayed too much. Okay, now we'll fill this in. Okay, moving on, we're going to do this side now. We've got to go all the way to this edge here. We've got that. So I'm just going to turn my plane and turn my picture. So we move over to this wing. It looks like we do actually the side, so I want to grab my other reference of the side of the plane. But actually, we've got nothing here on this picture. Nothing indicating white going all the way along the edge. So why they've done that, I think that's maybe just a flaw in their diagram. So we're not going to worry about that. We're going to focus on this little triangle here. Far enough, and we're going to branch out to about halfway here, and then just work on an angle here. that one. Now we have this guy on the front edge. This should be fairly simple. I don't really have to do much. I'm just going to make sure it's going to be out here. And up there. And then just come back down to the point. Kind of like that. In that kind of fashion. Go. Okay, last we have up on the nose here, this little triangle area right here, and that's just behind our little nub, and it's going up and then it's going down like that. So, it's going to go this, and it's going to go back about that far, to about there. And that's about it for the top of the plane. So put this aside. I'll grab my two elevators, 1 and 2. Now they do have ups and downs, I believe, and I think we've got our little dip things on the top. Dip things. It's not a technical term. So this is really just going to be, I line that up there, there, and basically get this sort of spring. There we go. So basically, just going to fill this whole area, but I'm going to do in a bit of a funny pattern. Okay. This guy basically is just one big line going all the way back there, starting at about there, right there, going back to there. got the top side done. So let's get rid of this and get our other picture of the bottom of the plane. Here's our bottom. So these are, just going to put these aside for now. And we'll flip this guy over and we'll look at the bottom. So start here with this wing. I'm just going to fix my tip here, and I want to fix this. Okay. Our tip right here, basically going to there, and going out to here. Okay. Kind of going in a line like this. Come on, straight. Like that. Okay. Damn it, stupid airbrush. I'm happy that happened on the bottom of the plane. I'm not happy that it happened at all. But I'm going to say that the underside of the plane doesn't see nearly as much. I'm going to blend that out a little bit so it's not as noticeable. It's probably going to be covered by the gray anyway where it happened. Okay, maybe not, but I'm going to kind of flood this whole area. There we go. Okay, so that sucks, but it happens sometimes. Okay, so we're going to start in this spot and go to here. Okay, and we're going to go all the way basically to here. Follow the line kind of like this. And we're going to go out in front of here. So basically, going out, the line is kind of looking like this. That kind of shape. The underside, I'm going to say, doesn't get bleached nearly as much as the top side, so I'm not going to do this little pattern quite as distinctly. I'm going to have it more uniform on the bottom of the plane. Still a little bit of fading I'm going to do, but for the most part, it's going to be solid. I'm going to fix this up a little bit. Make this a little more solid. Okay. Alright, so back to our nose. Actually, I'll do the nose last. Flip her around. This way. Okay, this way, it looks like we're starting right here. And we're going here. And we're going to go back, yeah, not that far. this, which goes right up along this line, and it goes out. Once it meets here, it's about there. And how far forward does it go? Let's see. This straight up, it's about here, and then it comes back. Okay. Actually, only goes this far. Okay, so that's done. Now we'll do our nose. Our nose, let's get this plane lined up here. Our nose, we're starting here and here. And our point is over on this side. Okay. So, we'll do a couple of spots where it's going to be a little brighter. Do that, and then we'll fill it all in. There we go. Okay, so finally, we're going to do our elevators. So that's this side and this side, but we're going to flip them. Okay, flip the plane over. Let's line that up there. You know we're going there, and we're going here, and then we're going to this step. Okay. Like that, that's good enough. That's full coverage. This one, we're just going to line up here, and we're doing there, and we're going right back to the corner. There we go. And that's done. It's a little too stark in between the two panels, so uniform that a little bit. There we go. Okay. Done, 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 done. So, on to, let's move these out of the way. I actually need to do our flaperons in these little spots here. These guys here. What I really need to do is get a sip of my coffee. I believe we're only going to have time to do the white today, guys. And so I have to apologize for that, but that's the way it is sometimes. So this one basically just going chunk across there. And yes, that's how it sounds, just chunk. I'm going to do that. I'm going to pull this guy off here. That's one side. Let that dry. Flip them around. I'll brush down for a sec so I can do this. That in there. And here we go. Basically like that. And that one's done. Now we're going to flip it over again and see what we're going to do on these sides. So take this one again. This one was just finished. So he goes in there. Oops. Come back. I'm not done with you. He actually goes in. Yeah, he goes in here. Like so. And he needs a bit of a lineup right there. Okay. This guy goes in that. In your place. That. And one in your home. And he's going to get the treatment out to there. So let's take these out. Come on, start spraying. Sure, I actually better use the edge. Okay. That's that. That's our ailerons, or not ailerons, our flaperons. Next, we got to deal with our tail. Okay, our tail here. Got to do this guy. Okay, it should be fairly simple, just a strip across the top, and there's a little triangle right there. So, strip across the top. I don't think needs to be have any specific weathering. That's more than good enough. This one, I gotta make sure I get enough right there. that's more than enough. I think that lines up perfect. Yep, good. That's it for this side. I'll hit the top as well. And I'll grab my other paper, shows the other side of the tail. Pretty much the exact same thing on this side. Yeah. I don't think there's any variation. I think it's the exact same thing. Just make sure I've got it the right depth. Oh yeah, no problem. That's perfect. Do need to get sure I get the front. Okay. And then this little triangle. Same spot. Yeah, right there. There we go. Tail's done. Which basically says, okay, what about our sides here? This side should be showing a big triangle kind of thing going up. And it kind of does, right? But I want to make sure that I've got it proper. Like that. And we do have our little triangle sticking up at the front. Oh, you can't see here. Right there. On the front there, and that's that, and yeah, it just goes right up to that, and that's it. So that's, I'm calling the white finished. Yeah, the white is done. The one thing I do want to make sure is my kind of weathering is similar on our fin, on my flaperons. And it's a pain to complete that. I want to make sure my weathering is equal on both sides to the actual wing, and that looks pretty good, I think. And same on the bottom, it looks pretty good. Could maybe do a little bit of a touch up on this side, I think. Kind of even that pattern out a little bit. That's a little bit better, I believe. Just a little bit more solid color. Okay, so that is done. Okay, so that concludes the white portion of the build. And so I need to move on to the gray, which will be next. But I don't have enough time to continue that today. So that's where that means I'm going to leave it here. Leave it right there for now. That's going to be done. So the next step is going to be the gray. I've got to do some masking, of course. I've got to mask off all of my white sections precisely. And how am I going to do that? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pictures. I'm going to take my pictures and I'm actually going to cut out the sections of the white. Put them down on the plane, and I can mask it off that way. So that's how I'm going to do that. And that way I can get it nice and precise and exact to where all these markings are supposed to be. And so yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll do that off camera. You don't need to watch me mask my stuff, because that is, I mean, as boring as watching somebody build a model might be, watching them mask off something is going to be even worse. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it here for today, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all the support. Please hit that like button. Hit subscribe if you already haven't subscribed. So that way you can follow me as soon as I upload videos, and you can see how this progresses. I want to thank you guys for everything, and we'll see you all in the next one.